C says when did 2 to 3 commercials during a match become a thing? You often talk about your disdain for picture-in-picture.
But I also think that if I go back and I think about 1993 when I went to the WWE for the first time, and the only person, like, there was maybe in that 2 hours one match that did 10, 12 minutes. Everything else was a 3, 4 minute squash match, and you could just do a 3 minute match and then go to commercial. 3 minute squash, do a commercial. So the business has changed because they give, number one, there's 3 hours. So if you hot shot and don't give, you know, I mean, there's just, you've got to put time in, and then you've got to go to commercial break. But they can't. These guys are so talented athletically that
But this would be my geeky question for Paul if I had 5 minutes. I don't care about pushing, care about titles. What happens to the advertiser rate when you want to talk about years ago, like you said, if I'm watching the Nash Goldberg match on WCW, we got to go commercial, we'll be right back. And I'm sitting through, my full attention is, if I don't get up, take a piss or something, is on that ad. So I've paid, if I'm the advertiser, I'm the company, I've paid for my Pizza Hut ad to land in that main event spot in the middle of the match. Probably could charge me a fortune back then during the Monday Night Wars.
not as much as the $5 billion that Netflix is kicking the WWE.
Different story, because that's new news. But, in the past couple of years, what are they paying for a split screen while a match is still on? Doesn't that lower your rate precipitously that you can charge Pizza Hut now? I think they
I mean, I look at what they're doing now, and especially at like pay-per-views, where each match is brought to you by, it's like the banners on the out. It's like the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA. It's like the banner changes around the court, and it's.
So by adding new revenue streams, you make up for what the in-match advertising loses.
So I mean, there's so much, and especially when you've got, and I don't even know what the number is, but it's over $1 billion. I know that they get hits on all their socials.
Crazy.
So everything that they do, there's so much revenue that's not even really when they're saying we're going to cut from 250 to 200 because we're going to cut the antiquated bullshit house shows out of the system. I mean, we used to have to go over to Europe and frack that economy because we just weren't drawing in the States, but we were still drawing in the UK, Austria, Germany, so we would go over there, and hell, we'd run 22, 23-day loops, come home, do TV, and go back to Europe.
But in keeping with the, since we're disappointing your brother here for a minute, and talking a little wrestling,
we're actually talking more of the
business. We're talking business. It could be any business, really. So in talking about business, in going to the 2-hour deal on USA Network now, which is going to happen until Netflix. Now, remember, with Netflix, with streaming, they can go on infinite amount of time. They don't have to cut off for something else coming next. So whatever's going on that week, they could go 3 hours, they could go whatever.
But they'll have, I guarantee you, I mean, unless you have that premium service where you don't have advertising, you're going to get advertising. It won't be as much as you do on USA, but you're still going to get Netflix advertising during the Raw program.
But I'm saying they don't have to commit to a show length like you do on a broadcast network, because they could just put anything on. But they're going to have to do 2.5 months of 2 hours. Do you think there's a chance that this would prove to be such a tight, well packed show with no fat that it kind of opens up a door for them in seeing by going back to 2 hours and we trim the roster a little, maybe change the entire system, fewer angles, just kind of narrow everything.
Yeah, but it's. I think they've done a really good job of, like, AJ was gone for I mean, a lot of these guys are gone for a very long time, and Seth, like everybody's like, I'm sure wondering, but Seth's beat up. Randy was beat up to the point where he had to get his back. I don't know if he got it fused, but I know he had some surgical procedures
Yeah.
done on his back.
So when your
So
top guys start to get injured, you're
yeah,
saying
when
you do
it's
need to keep that many options.
yeah, you've got to, like I thought that, and I've said it, and I hate being redundant, but I will. But like when Punk was hurt, I thought they did a really good job keeping Phil, relevant, but not to the point where they put him, in the booth and made him a color guy.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be like in our era, like you were a worker bee, and then if you got that color spot, that was an elevation. Like if you were the color commentator, that was an elevated spot above being a guy in the ring. And now it's if you're still a player, then that kind of diminishes you. That's more for the guys that have retired from in ring.
Right. I think personally, I'd benefit from being offered a 2 hour tight show, um, just kind of a little more streamlined. It sometimes feels like I'm all over the place
So
when
I
I
just
try to get
hope
through a
that
3 hour Raw now.
yeah, I just don't have the time to watch 3 hours of anything.
Yeah, no,
I
agreed.
mean, it's to sit there and watch like tonight's football game. Like I'll be happy to come in at halftime,
Right.
and watch the second half. I won't feel that. I hope it's not a blowout, but it's hard for me to
Did you put
watch a
any
game.
action on it tonight? You have any action tonight?
No, I didn't put any action
I didn't
on it.
touch it either.
They're all over the Rogers has been all over the place.
Yeah. Anthony Maurizio, I see a theme here. Hope to see Kevin Nash come out and power bomb Logan Paul on TV and cut a no respect for the business promo. I'd watch the hell out of that little program.
See, that's the beauty of being a 65-year-old guy that nobody knows. They still think that you're going to show up on their
On
TV
Raw next
and
week.
stick somebody. Hey, that ain't a bad. You know what? Maybe that was my whole reason for saying what I said.
You and Paul are up to something, aren't you?
I mean, he's fighting old man Tyson. I mean, his brother is.
I meant Paul Levesque are up to
Oh,
something.
Paul Levesque. Yeah. Paul don't want to fight. He's got enough headache without having me in his fucking
He's
locker
busy.
room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's all right. He's
Jesus
busy.
Christ. He loves
Oh,
it. We love each other, but I am that old school guy that's, you know,
that someone might have to turn to and go, Kev, it's a different business now. It's
yeah,
not like it was. Just don't mention it.
yeah.
They move this fast all the time.
It's like, okay, I'm sorry, but I disagree, but that's fine.
Blue